Welcome back to the Pearl Report. South Lantau is home to scores of rare species. The government has vowed to set up conservation areas to preserve the natural habitats, but green groups have reservations. Christy Leung has more. More than half of Hong Kong's 120 feral buffalo live on Lantau, including in Pui O, Chi Ma Wan, Shui Hao and Cheung Sa.
Without the buffalo, there's no character for Lantau. It will be the same as all the other rural area.
Ho Loi moved from the city to Lantau about a decade ago and heads an NGO to protect the buffalo.
I have the first sense of green space and fresh air, and having the animal with me is like finding a friend for my soul, that I can trust them completely. By preserving them, we're preserving a very good and important value. This is something I would die for. We're in Pui O or Uk Chin. This habitat is the most important habitat. This herd of water buffalo are the origin of all the other herds on Lantau.
The first batch of buffalo was brought to Pui O by farmers in the 1950s to work on paddy fields. As farming declined in the 70s, they were left to fend for themselves.
They start digging up the land and they start softening the soil. That will make the soil start to absorb water. So without them, we do not have this wetland.
This wetland in South Lantau, the size of 8 Victoria Parks, became a coastal protected area back in the 1980s. Land filling and excavation, river diversion, etc. are banned.
Apart from agriculture use, you're not supposed to do other things unless you have a permission from the government.
But in the past 8 years, the wetland has been used by people illegally as a landfill, eroding the habitat of the buffalo.
These are the landfill that are coming, growing bigger and bigger. You can see very obviously construction waste, that concrete with broken bricks, metal, plastic holes, sharp object that can cut the animal hoof easily. This have grown to maximum number 32, and now they go down to 20.
In 1991, the law was revised to empower the planning department to prosecute landowners who allow misuse of protected areas. But the Pui O wetland is excluded because it was listed before the revision.
We urge government to amend the law if the law is not giving them the power.
The government will implement rural conservation pilot projects in areas such as Tai O, Shui Hao and Pui O.
We cannot expect landowner will do protection for those environments.
Ho Loi has tried to reach out to the owners of the wetland.
The response is just leave it. They do not understand conservation need management. By preserving this environment, it doesn't mean it's no development.
The South Lantau Rural Committee says,
if the government doesn't resume the land, villagers won't agree to protect buffalo habitats on private land.
I really do not see, without resolving the land right, that how we can continuously preserve the environment.
The government has proposed setting up a buffalo conservation centre here.
In the last 5 years, from our observation, we already have increasing tourists to come in here. I strongly believe this centre will be a very high-profile tourist attraction. The fence of the animals will totally go against the buffalo conservation.
Ho says the government should set up an educational centre.
Putting a service centre here for the human to learn to protect the animal, to establish the research, then we might be able to contribute our work and support that idea. We cannot allow the public to behave like they go to Tsim Sha Tsui in Lantau South.
From Pui O to Shui Hao is the largest sand flat along the South Lantau coast. It's known for clam digging, but there are a lot more underneath the sand. Dixon Wong, an ecologist, spent a year with his students conducting surveys here and found over 200 animal species.
呢隻係香港比較常見一種彈塗，但係呢種彈塗係中意冇咁泥嘅地方，沙質多少少，咁所以呢個好合適佢。
We can see different habitats in this area, including the freshwater stream, or even some abandoned farmlands or mangroves, which is not common in other places in Hong Kong.
The estuary is actually the downflow of the stream water from the upper part of the area. This is quite important for Shui Hao. It collects those nutrients, those suspended solid from the hillsides down to the seashore.
Yeah, at first sight, you will think there's nothing here, but when you leap over the rocks, you will be amazed of how many species you can find here.
The rock oyster, the rubberose area seems to be larger than previous visit.
He says heavy rainfall last summer carried some pebbles to the river mouth, enlarging the rubble area and bringing more creatures to the sand flat.
This is a good thing because the rubbles can actually provide more different microhabitats. We can see some of the, under the rocks, some of the rock surface do have the attachment of those seashell eggs. This can increase the biodiversity and the abundance of the organism in here.
The government proposed in 2012 to designate Shui Hao a site of scientific special interest, where any activities affecting the habitats of the many species in the area are banned. But the proposal is shelved due to villagers' strong objections.
In my leisure, I dig up clams with the old folks.
This is Shui Hao 1.
When the tide ebbs, 7 to 10 villagers would come to dig up clams and cook them just for leisure. If this is conserved, nothing can be caught. If the whole beach is closed, where would the villagers go to play?
And no visitor to buy from the village store.
Conservation, nobody would come. Shui Hao Village would be a ghost town.
The peak is in June, July, August.
Chan Chao Yip runs a grocery store near the beach.
Scores of people will swarm the village store. When it's hot, they come to shower and cook food.
But he admits visitors are damaging the ecology.
I see many customers come back with all types of clams. Even the babies, such a waste. Gradually, all the clams on the beach would disappear. I tell them which clams can be caught, which to leave alone. This beach has 10 types of clams. This type is called shaba. If they're babies and marked with a cross, don't dig them up.
Chan supports partial conservation.
If the whole beach is closed, villagers would be angry as their activities would be curtailed. When there are fewer people around, migrant birds come here to rest, and there's the mangrove forest. These are worth protecting, so could we conserve the mangroves and open the other side for villagers to play?
Shui Hao is also home to water buffalo. The government has suggested setting up a 3-hectare animal farm.
There's no need to do any development into an animal farm. We would like this area, actually you can appreciate the wildlife in their natural settings.
This year's policy address also proposed conservation projects in Shui Hao, similar to Puyo. Dixon says a marine education park can be an option.
I think that's good. And it's also have the main focus on the nature conservation rather than a tourism, and that is also good. You may set up a kind of education center hub around the village area. You can employ some of the coastal guard, try to do some patrol.
To stop people from digging up all the creatures from the nooks and crannies.
If it is over 1,000 people here, then the whole sand flat will be just taken out. In the past, the Hoi Ha Wan Marine Park, because it is new, it is famous, it got over 1,000 of people in one day visit, and it caused lots of disturbance to the villagers, to the environments. Hopefully, the government is doing the conservation work. Some of the conservationists can take part in it and say something about the conservation.
I hope to see Shui Hao to be retained as what it is now.
I hope it's rubbish-free. If people really come here to admire its beauty or to dig clams, but I hope they still respect the nature and then try not to disturb the original beauty of it.
Well, thank you for watching our show. It will be re-aired on Monday, Tuesday and Saturday, as well as on tvb.com. Until next time, from the Pearl Report team, good night, good luck and good health.